Hi, pretty people. This is Tango Tarot. I'm really appreciative of you being here. And in today's reading, we are looking at your past life. So, today's reading is going to be very interesting. And, like most of the times, this is a general collective reading. So, I hope you're open minded to take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because not every message is going to be meant for you. It is a general reading posted to YouTube where the audience is vast. So, without further ado, let's get into your reading. I have already laid out your oracle cards because I already shuffled the cards, and these are the cards that came out from the Moonology deck. Okay, I have few more cards for you. These cards are from the Unicorn card deck, which was made by Dinah Cooper. I love this deck because it's very direct, it's ethereal. Look at the visuals. I just love when I'm using these. Also, because we don't have a particular visual picture of our past life, and I thought this would just be helpful for me as a reader for this particular reading, and also for the viewers, because I think as a tarot card reading viewer myself, I would like to seek a video which is telling about my past life with some particular visuals to help my imagination. Not that I'm not delulu enough to do that myself, but it's just I won't complain. So let's get into your reading without further yapping. Okay, so let me meditate on that. Okay, so right off the bat, there are two cards which are directly, pointing at speaking and being honest, speaking the truth, basically. And this one says prompting, call a friend today. So I think I'm getting a very strong message that you are, you know, meant to use the gifts that you have in this particular life to raise the consciousness of the world in today's age. And it sounds tricky to me as well to comprehend exactly what this means, but I think the tarot will help me with that. Talking about these cards, I think this purpose of yours, this is I think I'm not the first person telling you to follow this calling. I think either you've had this pull towards following an endeavor, or just a part-time thing that helps you do this, or a friend of yours might have suggested it, or seeing other people do this on social media platforms, that something like that might have inspired you. So I think this reading today might be your final push towards starting this thing. Okay, I think in the past you might have, you know, been a person who would not even, sit for 5 minutes to entertain a YouTube tarot reading. That would like sound like some complete BS to you. That may have been the case if you were that kind of a person, but I think you have, become a person who is more open to spirituality. And okay, this mosquito might have something to say. No, I'm not donating my blood to you. Okay. So, okay, you might have either been too distracted with other things in your life, in, the earlier years of your life. And I'm talking like you could be any age watching this video, but I am specifically getting that if you're over 20, I think you spent most of your 20s, or particularly your teens, in this energy where you were, not open to all of this, and ideas like this, the 5D, the spiritual world. It just didn't, make sense to you, but now it somehow does. So I think your energy is changing towards this thing, and that is opening your mind and your heart, and particularly your throat, up to become one of the people that have inspired you to start this. Okay, so yeah, a personal issue reaches a resolution. I think this issue inside of you, this push and pull inside of you to actually, decide if to start this thing or not, I think it's finally ending. Yeah, I'd like to take the help of tarot to dive deeper. Now, okay, so Spirit, what information would you like to give to the collective today about their past life and their current purpose in this one? Okay, wow, the tarot cleared out a lot for me of the messages that I was getting from the oracles. So, okay. Well, basically, the thing I said about you being a little close minded about spirituality and, diving into a career or, a purpose with that includes this and, raising the consciousness, helping others through spirituality, through your gifts. Um, and I think that might not just have been your past of this life, it might have been your past life itself. So, I think you in your past life, you were a person, regardless of a gender, you were a person who was blessed, very, very blessed with extreme spiritual gifts and abilities. And, some of you were either clairvoyant, some of you were psychic, some of you were clairsentient, and, the list goes on. If we talk about a gift that a person could receive spiritually, but you had it, and in that life you didn't give it as much value. And I guess you might have even, been scared of it. You might have seen it as something that was wrong with you. It may have been that people around you planted that doubt in your head, or, they made you feel like you didn't fit in because of those gifts if you ever shared them. I think you abandoned your gifts. If you watched the Vampire Diaries, I think the witches that were in that show, all the characters that played a witch, most of them, whenever they lost their, witchy abilities, it was because they somewhat took a choice, consciously or unconsciously, to abandon their gifts. And I think that is exactly what happened with you. In your past life, you had a gift and you saw it as a curse rather than a blessing, and you pushed it away. And in process of doing that, I think you were pushing yourself away, your real authentic self. And I think doing that made you end up being here in this life as this person, having these experiences and having gone through the experiences that you have, to finally embrace your spirituality, finally embrace your gifts, and finally fulfill your purpose of raising the consciousness of this universe. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing for now. Okay, I think you're really, really being called to, you know, drop your rigidity about following this, because I think this is a calling of your heart that is the reason why, if you do, you may have, felt till now that there's something missing in you. And often people, take that as a message of a soulmate that they haven't met yet. And, when they come into their lives, everything is just going to feel like it's finally, whole, it's finally complete and content. They're going to feel complete and content. But I think for you, this gift of yours is your soulmate. It, like, this gift carried itself through your last life to this life with you, because it wants to be openly accepted by you. Okay, so worldly advice and, advice that I would give a friend is that either you are being called to take up a career which involves something that has to do with connecting with spirituality and your gifts, and your perhaps your psychic abilities. And once you do that, I think abundance will come rushing in. And especially, it will be confirmation for those people who have been trying everything, people who might have changed their careers multiple times in their lives and still not having, gotten the kind of success that they deserve. I think it's because what you have done till now, it you might have worked very hard for it, and the universe commends you for that. But I think it didn't work out because it wasn't meant to. And I think this perhaps would be, if you have a career that is thriving. Now this is for a different group of people. If you've had a good career all your life, like most of your life, obviously you didn't start working out of the womb directly, I know that, I'm not that silly. But yeah, if you've never faced too many challenges with your finances or anything, I think it might be, or if you're a housewife, if you're someone who takes care of your house, and your partner takes care of the finances area, I think if you don't have children, or if your children have grown up enough, then I think you will have a good amount of privacy to practice these abilities, and just have some people around you. And abilities are not always you know something that you consciously use to help other people with. Now, a trigger warning for some people, but it may be that you're either a mother or a father to a child who is a special child, someone who has special needs, special abilities. And I think if you have birthed someone like that, I think you chose this for your life. I think you chose that for this life. And your child, they also, their soul made a choice to come into this life in that version, in that shape, way, and form, because people who fight that battle, the battle of disability and challenges, either physically or mentally, those people and the people around them, they change the perspective of people around them drastically. It's not just that they, invoke empathy or unconditional love in people's hearts for 2 minutes and then those people move on. No, those people, if that's you, I commend you. You are changing the world. You may not know that, but you might have deeply affected one person's entire worldview because of the challenges that you take up every day. And this thing, it is often looked at as a taboo for some reason, and something that should be either looked down upon or something that should be earning sympathy. But I think they do not realize that having someone like that in your home, I think that's often a blessing in disguise. They slow you down, they teach you how to live in the present moment, to be grateful for the little things in life, and that is what life is about. I think that is something that you learn every day, and that is something people around you learn from you every day. Your neighbors, your family members, your extended family members, even people who are older than you. I think it's beautiful if you're from this group that I'm talking about, if you made a choice as a soul to get reincarnated into this life with a challenge like this. And that shows how you had a consciousness great enough to comprehend this as the blessing that it is, and not as the challenge that the word views it as. Because challenge is a word that I'm using myself because that's how science often defines it. But yeah, okay. So I would like to get more tarot and then finally some advice for you. Okay. The devil in reverse. I think you wow. Um, if you're from the group that I was talking about earlier, or from the second group that I was just talking about, whether you are willing or called to take up raising the consciousness of people as a career, or if you chose it as your whole life, I think you are doing God's work. That's what you were born for. And I think you are unaliving the devil in a lot of people. You are invoking the light of unconditional love in people that don't even directly know you. and you are making this world a better place already by existing. I wanted to just look at this card as well. Yeah, okay. I think your soul will finally be quote unquote free after you have fulfilled this purpose to the maximum that you took the choice of doing. I think your purpose in this life also will end, and your difficulties in this life also will only end when you finally embrace this whole thing as a positive thing, as something that is a blessing to you. And once you do that, I think your life will finally start to make sense and things will start looking a lot more better. That's it for today's reading. Thank you. See you in my next one.